Hey y'all. Emily and I forgot to mention it when we were recording together, but Rowan and Pine has joined the Podmoth Media Network. This is just the PSA to let you know that there will be no difference to you as a listener, except for an ad for another amazing podcast on the network before each of our episodes.
Leave with the and go.
And go, yeah. I don't know, is that a cultural thing?
No, but in this scenario, it's an interesting choice.
I'm just always keeping you on your toes,
remember
Emily.
The first couple times, I'm like, wait, are you doing just 1, 2, 3?
We have started an episode. Hello, everybody.
Hello. I was gonna say we're back, but we haven't really been gone.
No, we came back last time, and we're still back. And just a reminder, because we didn't say it last time, we're on our reduced summer schedule. We're down to once a month. It says in the description of the podcast, so if you didn't see that, that's your fault. It even has a little calendar emoji.
And we might be rocking like this for a little while. Who knows?
Yeah. Life is crazy. Maybe we'll have some new voices pop up. Who knows? We'll see how it goes.
The look on your face.
I'm Easter egging. Is that what it is? Easter? No, it's breadcrumbing. When you tease
is
something.
It breadcrumbing?
Well, if it actually happens, who knows?
Yeah. Because what is an Easter egg? That's when it's like hidden stuff for you to find, right?
Yes. And it's usually like only certain people will notice it. Whereas breadcrumbing is where you, like Hansel and Gretel. We should know this because we're the Brothers Grimm. Hansel and Gretel. Where you lay a little trail for people to follow.
Hansel and Gretel also relates to my episode today. But
oh, yes.
Did you have... Okay, we still have not stated the band that brought us together. And I'm not going to state it now. But this band had a live show DVD come out like forever ago.
Is it the Halloween one?
Have that DVD? Yeah. You're giving it away.
Okay, I'm going to edit that out. I'm going to bleep it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I did have that one. With the smudgy lens.
They had... Yes, but
it was like a smudgy lens on the camera at one point.
They had Easter eggs in that.
Yes, they did. I can't remember any of them now, but I remember there was much discussion about it.
Yeah, it was like you had to find like a Title 3 button or something.
Oh,
I don't know. It was like really interesting.
Yeah,
because there was a clip from a movie, and it was a very strange clip, but it had Crispin Glover in it.
Okay.
And then I think there was...
Every movie with Crispin Glover is strange.
Right. But then I think there was like a live commentary on it.
Yes.
Minus one of the members because they were sick or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is this ringing a bell to you? I'm like, am I making this up in my head?
No, it is. It is ringing a bell.
Yes.
Because I think it was around the time that album came out where he is also sick during recording that album.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, what does it all mean?
The people who know.
Right.
The people who don't know are like, I don't care.
Yeah. Fun for us.
Which, by the way, if there's new people here, our listenership has gone up a lot. We jump like 1,000 listeners in a week.
It's because Neve is making titty talks. Just kidding.
Yeah, I'm making titty talks. Emily had a dream where I was whoring myself out on TikTok for for views, for listeners, rather. Not even views, listeners. Which, to be fair, if it gets you there. But yes, if you find us through TikTok, hello.
Hi.
It's strange. We still find it weird being perceived.
Yeah.
Knowing that people listen to us.
It's like
Emily's got this whole mysterious elusive thing going on because she's not really on TikTok, so everybody will be like, who is she?
But you're putting me on TikTok. You're like making videos of me, so
yeah, but like only from stuff that you've already put out,
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it's only clips from episodes or lives that we've done, so
So in case you were wondering, anybody, Neve is the one who's running our social media at this point. I have almost nothing to do with it because I'm lazy.
Because I am like weird. I get into weird moods where I do nothing but post on social media, and then I get into another mood where I don't want anything to do with it, and I'm in the posting mood at the moment.
I'm in the don't want anything to do with it mood, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
I have a child who sucks all my attention all day, and then I'm just like, nobody touch me, nobody look at me, nobody talk to me.
I have to say, though, I do like going on our podcast Instagram compared to my own Instagram because I follow like news and political stuff on my own Instagram, whereas on our podcast Instagram, it's all like witchy women, memes, spooky like haunted locations, and people who love Halloween and keep posting about how it's already fall.
Yeah.
So it's nice to go on there.
I do like going whenever I pop over there. I'm like, oh, wow, look at all this cool stuff. And then I want to send it to you, but you're also on the Instagram, so.
Hey, you post it. You just keep posting it on the stories because I'll see it.
Did you see the one that I posted today?
Yes.
One of my friends sent it to me and I was like, this is gold.
Yeah, it's so good.
Shall we get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it. I also was listening to the song Baba Yaga by Slaughter to Prevail today because it's one of my gym songs. And when you kept saying that we were going to do Baba Yaga, I was like, I'm going to listen to that. But it's not a fun song and I'm not going to play any of it because they're very angry and Russian.
I was going to say, is it a good song? I don't think I've ever heard it.
No. But it's sort of like very doom. Very like scary. So it's, it's portraying her as the witch.
The witch
side
that she
of
is.
Herself. Yes.
Let me look for it. There's this like folksy kind of band. And okay, here we go. Charming Disaster. They have a really interesting album where they basically just like have songs about folktales.
Oh, I love that.
But so sometimes this song gets stuck in my head because it's like, okay, the album is called Spells and Rituals by Charming Disaster, but the Baba Yaga song is like, Baba Yaga.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Wait, let's see. Can you hear it?
Yep.
Okay.
Have you seen it in the glen? The cottage up on chicken legs. Better hope that she ain't home. She'll suck the marrow from your bones. Spirit lady, she is gone. Sticky letters doing her. Baba Yaga.
Oh, God. That's really good. Yeah, it's way different from the Slaughter to Prevail song, which, like one of the lyrics of that is just, you're fucked.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I was like, is it kind of like folksy like that, or is it just like...
No, it's like metal. I'm not even going to say what genre of metal, because people are really precious about that, and I'll get it wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you say somebody's doom metal, and they're like, no, they're not. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, I made that mistake before. I called something new metal one time, and they were like, how dare you? Sorry, so sorry. Kill me for it.
Somebody was like, oh, Tool, they're like math metal. I'm like, that's not a thing. You just made that up because you don't know what Tool are.
Oh my gosh.
If Tool are math metal, don't write at me and tell me. I don't care. just preempting that.
Just keep it to yourself, please.
You listen to Tool, I'll listen to Tool. We'll have our different interpretations.
All right. So today I am talking about Baba Yaga, as you might have guessed. And we're not going about John Wick.
Yeah, I completely forgot that his nickname is Baba Yaga. And it
makes
really
no
bothered
sense.
me when I was watching it. I'm like, what? Yeah. Because doesn't Baba mean old woman? I mean, you're probably going to tell us like all about it anyway, but like, doesn't it mean old woman?
Yeah, it just is very... And it's not like... I've never seen any of the John Wick movies, but from what I know, there are no similarities.
No.
No, there's nothing to you know.
He's just basically nicknamed that because he's a really good assassin, so he's like really good at killing people. Like that's all it is.
Yeah. Which
It's weird.
makes no sense. It's not like
Mhm.
calling... Oh my god. Never mind. I'm not even going to go there. I was going to try
Well,
to
it's
like
not
make
even
a Batman reference.
Yeah.
And then
Or
I'm
it's
like,
like-
wait,
it's-
what's the origin story?
It's not like it's like a female assassin who's older or something like that. Like that would make a little bit more sense.
lives
but
in the
it's Keanu
woods.
Reeves. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, Baba Yaga. Some believe that she is the epitome of evil. One tale says that the devil boiled 12 women in a cauldron to create the essence of evil. After the devil spat into the cauldron, Baba Yaga appeared in a burst of flames.
Wow. That's visceral.
Yeah. Yes. Indeed it is.
I have to say though, this has already given me like I feel like I've met women like this. I've usually served them.
I was like, who showed up after the devil spit?
Customer service capacity. I'm like, yeah.
Oh,
I feel like the devil spat you out.
Yeah, basically. But Baba Yaga is a witch from Slavic folklore, though it is debated if she could be a representation of Mother Earth due to her power, unpredictability, and ability to control elements. Or an ogress. Sometimes she is depicted as a heroine and other times a villain or an evil witch. In different times and different places around the world, she has been known as a dead ancestor, a cannibal, a night spirit who haunts the weak and unlucky, an abductor who took children and lost wanderers from the world of the living. She is a threat to those who wander outside of society. If you journey too far off the beaten path, in the woods there is a witch who will eat you.
Oh man.
Ooh.
Sounds like it's bad to be depressed around her. It's like,
Yeah.
I come for the ones who wander outside society and who are weak. Well, like, weak as she perceives it.
Somebody's just having a bad day. They go to take a walk.
Yeah, your day's about to get
And
worse.
she's like, ooh. Or better? I don't know. Wherever you're at.
Yeah, true.
The scholar, Matthew Guthrie, compares her to the Greek goddess Persephone and states that Baba Yaga is a goddess of death. She is said to live in a hut that has chicken legs, made to wander the forest. The hut has a mind of its own. It will wander where it wants and spin around at random. There is an iron fence around her house, adorned with human skulls as lanterns, with their hollow eyes ablaze. Her fence matches her teeth, which are said to also be iron. Tales say that she has a gigantic oven in her house made to cook up her victims. Baba Yaga is said to have skeletal legs due to the fact that she is neither human nor dead. She has legs for both the human realm and the underworld. Because of her legs, she walks with a limp. She has hollow eyes, and when she lays down in her bed, her nose hits the ceiling of her hut.
Okay.
Because it's so big.
All right.
Not because the hut is small.
Her interior design choices, I can't fault. Because I too would like skulls on my fence that light up. And
Yeah.
a big massive oven. Like,
Would be nice.
I'm not really like turning us against her here, are we? Like, it sounds like she'd be at TK Maxx in August, just fighting over the really nice Halloween decorations.
Yeah, it's so funny because, like, first off, I'm surprised I have not covered her yet because I love her.
Mhm.
And secondly, I love her, which is why I keep making designs of her.
Yeah. We're gonna have to do like a dedicated post on Instagram of all your Baba Yaga designs.
Yeah. I have one that I started and I still haven't finished it, which is such a bummer, but hopefully soon I will be able to finish it. Her hut is said to be modeled after Northern Slavic graves. Back in ancient times, there was no way to bury the dead in the winter, so they would put the bodies in the wooden huts that were built on stilts, and the stilts were to keep the wildlife from getting in, or to keep the body safe from flooding or swampy terrain. The tale of Baba Yaga might sound familiar to those who have heard the folktale of Hansel and Gretel. Kids losing their way in the woods and stumbling upon a strange house. Inside lives a witch who tries to eat the children.
Yeah, so I don't know. Is it like you get older when you realize like maybe the kids shouldn't have trespassed? Maybe they should have minded their own business.
Maybe you should mind your own damn business.
Maybe you shouldn't go into a stranger's home.
Yeah. I think the moral of the story there is like, don't go out into the woods. You'll lose your way and then you're screwed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the tale of Vasilisa the Beautiful, Vasilisa is said to see 3 of Baba Yaga's servants at 2 different occasions. One dressed in white, the second in red, and the third one in black. When Vasilisa asks Baba Yaga who they are, she says that they represent the day, the sun, and the night, and that she is in control of them, similarly to how Mother Nature controls the seasons. She's also said to fly through the forest on a mortal and use her pestle to push her forward. She's accompanied by her broom to erase her trail left behind her.
So she rides around on a mortar and uses her. So is it kind of like a boat? I'm trying to picture this.
Yeah, sort of.
So like she's using the mortar, like she's sitting in the mortar, and then she's using the pestle as like almost like an oar.
Yeah, sort of. And then she uses the
cool.
broom to kind of sweep behind her so nobody sees her trail.
Oh my god, she's just so efficient.
She's efficient.
She's an efficient lady. See, yeah. Are we supposed to not like her? I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it's interesting, and it's kind of like, I'll get to it a little bit later in the episode because there's people who talk about how it's kind of like she's made in this image of the woman you don't want to be. But in the modern times, it's kind of become the woman that you do want to be.
Yep.
So, yeah, I love her. I think she's great. In some tales, Baba Yaga commands a flock of black geese who serve her by searching the woods for little lost children.
Metal as fuck.
Right? I was like, I want a flock of black geese.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a black goose.
Let's Google it, because I haven't either.
Yeah.
Black
Well, like
goose.
Canadian geese are like black and grey, right?
Yes.
And filled with hatred.
I actually love them. I feel like they're misunderstood.
I just know, like, Ewan disturbed a nesting Canada goose when he worked there.
Yeah.
On a rooftop. Got, like, chased by the mother. I'm like, well, that's a you thing. Like, clearly you shouldn't have been up there.
Yeah.
And he was just annoyed because he had to call the authorities because you're not supposed to, like, go near them because they're, like, protected and stuff.
Oh,
And
interesting.
he's like, ugh. It's like, so inconvenient.
He had to call them just because he was near them?
Yeah, because, like, she was nesting on the rooftop and I think they, like, have to know.
Oh, okay.
They just had to, like, the authorities just had to know, like, if it needed to be removed or something like that, like, just for the goose's welfare.
Like relocated.
And for her goslings.
Aw. It looks like there are black geese, and they look pretty cool. They have orangish red beaks.
Rent geese.
Rent.
Oh, they are cool.
But yes.
Okay, one of them is a swan. That is definitely a swan. That is not a goose. Stop trying to fake me out with your fake black geese.
That is a swan that you colored black.
Brent geese are light-bellied. They're Canadian geese. Is that just a Canadian? Is this just another name? Who's Brent?
Also, I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that Canadian geese are not Canadian. That it's named after somebody who discovered them who was named Canada. So it's like Canada goose.
Shut up, really?
I don't know if that's a fact or not.
Okay, this has brought me to Birdwatch Ireland. It said, we get Canadian geese here? Where? Oh my god, it's so cute. This has like a phonetic spelling of what their call sounds like. So it says it's a guttural RHUT, so it's rut.
Okay. The Canada goose is named for John Canada, the ornithologist who separated the species from other geese.
My life is a lie.
You're welcome.
Holy shit.
So, because I heard you would never call them Canadian geese because they're not Canadian, they're just Canada geese.
Whoa. That's crazy.
Things you thought you would not learn on this episode for
Yeah.
400.
I also didn't know that they migrated here. That's nuts. Into my county? What? Literally my town. What the hell?
They're in my
Sorry,
county.
I'm looking at it. They're in my town. And there's a little thing here. I'm going to go find them. Actually, no, I'm not. They're going to chase me.
No, go find them. I love geese. I'm like the goose whisperer too, because every time we go to a park, they kind of creep up to me and they like look at me and stuff. And Medarda's always like, I don't know what's with you. They just are very curious about you. And I'm like, it's because I respect them.
You emit calming geese energy.
I got that CGE, calm geese energy.
Anyway.
Back to Baba Yaga. She appears in a handful of different tales and she acts in different ways. Sometimes she is helpful, and sometimes she's wise, and sometimes she's pure evil. In the tale of Vasilisa the Beautiful, Vasilisa's mother dies and gives her a magic doll. Vasilisa's father remarries, bringing a horrible stepmother and 2 stepsisters into Vasilisa's life. The stepmother and her daughters, similarly to the tale of Cinderella, force Vasilisa to do a lot of the chores while they sit back and relax, like freeloaders.
Bitches.
Fortunately, the magic doll is helpful to Vasilisa in doing all of these chores. When her father has to go away for a long trip, she is put under the care of her stepmother, who sends her out into the forest to get fire from Baba Yaga, because the fire at Vasilisa's house had gone out. Vasilisa was scared, but her magic doll assured her that she would be okay. Once arriving at Baba Yaga's house, Baba Yaga agrees to let Vasilisa take some fire, but only if she can complete a few tasks first. However, these tasks are nearly impossible for anyone to accomplish. The first night, Baba Yaga asked Vasilisa to go to the corn bin and separate the corn, seed by seed, the good ones from the mildewed ones, and then to remove all of the black bits, but to also prepare for dinner. So, she made her do a lot.
Jesus.
If she was unable to finish this task, Baba Yaga threatened to eat her. Panicked.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean...
I was going to make a joke about, like, an old serving job that I had, but I'm like, yeah, the worst I would have to do is stay late.
Nobody was eating you?
No. I might have done it then.
I might have done the dishes. Panicked, Vasilisa turned to her magic doll, who assured her that everything would be fine. In the morning, Vasilisa found her doll finishing up the task of separating the corn. The doll instructed her to go inside and work on dinner. Baba Yaga was upset that Vasilisa was able to finish the task because she really wanted to eat her. So Baba Yaga...
I hate that.
Yeah. Don't you hate when you don't get to eat somebody?
Yeah, I hate when my dinner actually succeeds.
Yeah, stupid. So Baba Yaga came up with more tasks for the upcoming night. She instructed Vasilisa to do the same thing that night, but also to go to the storeroom to sort out the dirt from the poppy seeds. Baba Yaga, shocked again, asked Vasilisa how she was able to finish the tasks. Vasilisa replied that it was due to her blessings from her mother. Baba Yaga shoved her out the door and said, "There will be no blessings in my house," but she followed through on her word, handing Vasilisa one of her skull lanterns and sending her away. What?
I'm just laughing at, like, you totally would be, like, this smug little brat being like, oh, I was able to do it because of blessings from my mother. And you're like, shut up, get out of my house. Get out of my house and take my skull lantern with you.
Yeah, she was evil. She don't want blessings in her house.
Mm-hmm.
When she arrived back at home, the skull fixed its burning eyes upon Vasilisa's stepfamily. They tried to run, but its gaze followed them wherever they would go and burned them alive until there was nothing left but ash. So
that seems freaking insane.
That's so metal.
So just the skull was able to do this?
Yeah, the skull was sticking up for her.
Okay, maybe I don't want the skull.
Maybe change my mind on the skull lantern thing.
I can't be totally trusted with candles, so... It would just be worse with a skull with the burning eyes of death.
Yeah. Able
Yeah.
to set
oh
ablaze.
no, I left my burning eyes of death going. My cat knocked it over.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? That would be something that would happen.
Yeah.
Cats knock it over. And then they're like, oh, what'd I do?
Ripley has set her tail on fire 3 times since we moved
Oh
here.
my gosh. I
swear she never went near candles before.
My sister-in-law, our previous first and only guest that we had on the show, Melina, when they had, their cats were still pretty young, but the one cat, I was like, what's wrong with its whiskers? Like, they were all like crinkled up
Curly?
and weird. Yeah, and I was just like, what the hell's happening? And then I saw her walking on like the TV stand next to all the candles that were up there. And I was like, oh my god, she's like burning her whiskers.
Cats can be so smart and so dumb at the same time.
They figure it out. They figure out how to survive somehow against all odds. But yeah, so the story of Vasilisa, it still has evil themes within it, but it shows that Baba Yaga is not all bad. She kept to her word by not eating Vasilisa, and then she also sent her home with what she promised her. So it's kind of like, you know, she's evil, but she's chill.
Yeah, she's like the older lady at work that you're like, she's kind of mean to you, but at the same time, if there is somebody else being mean to you, she stands up for you. That kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need more people like that.
For sure. I wanted to read this quote about what the name Baba Yaga potentially means. I was going to try to put it in my own words, but it just feels better to read it. It could be argued that whatever may have inspired the figure is irrelevant, as she became known as the personification of evil. No single interpretation of her origin is universally agreed upon, and the same is true for her name. In Old Russian, the word Baba could refer to a midwife, sorceress, or fortune teller, and the standard modern Russian word for grandmother, which is babushka, is derived from it. Baba in modern Russian is also a pejorative term for a woman. The origin and meaning of Yaga is far more obscure and has inspired several different interpretations among linguistics. Among the many possibilities suggested are disease, illness, horror, chill, wicked wood nymph, witch, evil woman, rage, fury, anger, torture, pain, and worry, serpent, snake, uncle's wife, stepmother, aunt, and mother.
That's a varied list.
John cites that scholar Brian Cooper, who claims that the name suggests a personification of suffocating oppression, and concludes that, in spite of its obscure origins, Baba Yaga's name is well known throughout Russia. Like the word witch, Yaga was used by villagers as an unflattering designation for old, quarrelsome, and ugly woman. The name can generally be understood then to mean grandmother witch, even if that is not a direct translation. This quote is by Joshua J. Mark on an article on Baba Yaga.
I love the whole like old quarrelsome woman. Like that's just we should all aim to be that old quarrelsome woman.
Yeah. That's like I think we've talked about it before on the show, how it's kind of like that, like I forget what it's called, but it's like the maiden, mother, crone. I keep wanting to say trifecta. That's not the right word.
Trinity?
Triad? Maybe. But it's kind of like everybody aspires to be the maiden, and like society tells us that that's what you're supposed to be, just like young and beautiful and virginal and all this other stupid stuff. But I'm really appreciating all the women who are starting to embrace the sort of like crone aspect, where they're like, no, I'm growing out my gray hair, I'm embracing my wrinkles, and I'm gonna scare little children one day.
Yeah, you want them to like be scared of your house when they're trick or treating.
Yeah, they're like, why is that house covered in vines and spider webs?
But when then they actually come, you're the best house to go to.
Right.
You know?
full-size candy bars.
Yes. And also in costume when we answer the door.
Yeah. Although it's not a costume, it's just how we regularly dress.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just this is my lounging robes that make me look like a rich widow / witch.
Yeah, with the like Cruella de Vil cigarette.
Oh yes. The cigarette holder. Just with incense in it.
Yeah.
Just wafting.
Honestly, that's a good idea.
That's goals.
Yeah, we need
Saging
to make
the
those.
place as you go.
Yeah. She has been a legend for a very long time. She appears in artwork dated back as early as the 17th century, and she is written in text dating back to 1755. She acts mainly as a warning for children to stay close to their parents and to not wander off.
I love that, like, as a species, humans have just always known that, like, children will not listen if you just tell them.
Right.
So you have to tell them a scary story that will burn it into their brain.
Right. And
and that's how we pass on our warnings through folklore.
Yeah. I will never forget hearing the little boy who cried wolf when I was a kid. And my parents telling me that story. And it's like, yeah. It's basically like, shut up. Don't cry unless something's really wrong.
Yeah, true.
Baba Yaga has come to, quote, embody the concept of feminine power and emancipation in the modern age, end quote, because of the fact that she lives on her own, on the outside of society and its norms, and she lives according to her own rules. She is the opposite of society's traditional ideal woman. She is unmarried, and instead of having children, she has chosen to eat them instead. This is my final quote. The essence of Baba Yaga exists in many cultures and many stories, and symbolizes the unpredictable and untamable nature of the female spirit, of Mother Earth, and the relationship of the women to the wild. She's a shamanic trickster, a category and boundary crosser, a reminder that freedom lies a little beyond the border of social norms, and that we can learn as much from the dark as the light, end quote. That's from Lindy Ryan, the editor of Into the Forest, Tales of Baba Yaga.
Oh. I love that. I love that it's like it says a lot that, you know, like as you were saying, instead of having children, she's chosen to eat them. It's just like, especially in the times when like Baba Yaga's stories were being, you know, constantly retold, that was the only options. It's like there's no in between.
Yeah.
Either you're having children or you hate them, and like, you know, there might be a middle ground there.
Yeah.
that we can explore.
And this goes back to like the witch episodes that we did, how it's like it always comes back to a woman and her sort of like duty to procreate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's nothing as scary, as we said, there's nothing as scary as a woman who isn't like interested in that, or she doesn't see that as her function in life.
Right, a single childless woman is very scary to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And currently in US
like,
politics.
Yeah. And there just seems to be this like cultural, is it even a cultural divide? But like, oh my God, if you look in the comment section of any post that's talking about like, I love being child free, or you will never know the love that you will never know love until you have a child. Like, people love like fighting against whatever the opposite, like, you know, they make it, a lot of child free people will make it like part of their identity.
Right.
And it's just like, I get it, like sometimes it's fun just to be like, I like sleeping in on the weekends and I like having a glass of wine whenever I feel like it. But it's also, you're acting like you have no other responsibilities. Like, people without children have lots of other responsibilities.
Right. Yeah, that's
like, you can't just leave and go live in another country because you feel like it. Like, you know, you have jobs and partners and family and stuff like that.
Yeah. I had been talking to some people about that, and I was like, you can be child free. That is totally fine. I'm not one of those people who, if you say I don't want kids, I will ask you why. I will not ask why. I would just say, oh, well, cool. Like, that's your choice. I don't care. It's your life. But The weird smugness and the like all-encompassing sort of identity stuff that comes with it is very strange to me. And I feel the same way about people who are just like, I'm a mom. That's what I do. I'm a mom. Yeah. It's like, you are more than a mom. You are more than a childless person.
I do internally cringe if I see somebody like introduce themselves, like say like in a bio or like whatever it is, as just X's mom. And you're just like, who were you before that? Like before like 5 years ago when you had your child.
Yeah.
You know, you were a whole person before that.
And
you're
after
still allowed
that,
to be that person.
That's something that, not to like delve into it too much, but that's something that I've struggled with is like, okay, this is kind of taking over my life right now, but that's not always going to be that way. There's going to be a day where my children have grown and they don't really need me that much. Of course, I'll still be their mom, but it's not going to be like my full-time job.
Yeah. And you're still also allowed to, this is a side note as well, because I do notice that some of my like mother friends or like people I know who I'm related to and stuff who are mothers, they're very slow about celebrating their own accomplishments or like telling you like, hey, I did this or hey, I've done that. But like they'll always tell you about what their kids have done. And you're just like, that's great. Obviously, I'm so happy for you. But like, you know, you're also allowed to be like proud of yourself that you did this or that you managed to do something or that like, you know, whether it's like you learned something new or you like you went somewhere new or you like are part of a new group or something like that.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of like people showing off their kids and forgetting to show off themselves and what they've done.
Yeah.
Which can be, I think that all ties into that, like the identity is getting absorbed in parenthood.
Right. And you sort of, I think instinctually you kind of stop centering yourself because you have a child. And it is like how you said that, oh, it's the greatest love you'll ever know or whatever like that. That's true. But, so I think, you know, you kind of like shift your focus to your kids but I think kind of like society expects that of you. Like you're kind of just supposed to become like background noise.
Yeah.
Which I think there can be a good balance of that.
As well, like this is also leading into the next episode that we're going to be doing. We're going to see a lot of that railing against what society especially expects of mothers in my episode, which I will not say yet what it is because you guys can just wait.
I love how our podcast has just become Neve and Emily talk about folklore and women's issues.
Yeah. I just started like tagging all of our stuff feminist folklore because it's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we start,
because
people start
it's a really
like,
good snapshot into
TERFs.
Like, yeah, we're not TERFs. It's a really good snapshot into like what people thought of women, especially
right,
like, but throughout folklore, throughout folk history, throughout oral tradition,
and like up until today, because while it seems like these things have stopped, they haven't. They've just kind of like changed how they present themselves.
Yeah. And I feel like it's only in like even fairy tale wise, I feel like it's only in the last say 20 years that, and a lot of it's Disney, and like Disney has its faults, but it's sort of one good like marketing thing that they did was started centering princesses a little bit more and like giving them their own story and their own motivations and, you know, friendships, and that it's not all just about like being rescued and all of that.
Right.
Which is, it's cool to see. Like that's not how we grew up.
Right.
Like it's a lot different now for little girls.
Yeah, we grew up thinking that like Stockholm syndrome is the way you're supposed to fall in love with somebody.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm just like, I really need to examine myself, like like what my favorite like Disney movies were. I'm like, Beauty and the Beast. Did I want to be taken prisoner? I blame Beauty and the Beast for my love for like reading like enemies to lovers like romantasy books, because I'm just like, yeah, they just need to hate each other for the first like 250 pages. Otherwise, I'm not going to buy it.
That's
like
we
say it's Pride and Prejudice. Maybe it's Beauty and the Beast.
There are so many people that I've met who are married to a person who are like, when I first met them, I hated them, and I'm like, how does that work? Neve, no. All right, let's file some divorce papers. Like, just kidding.
Yeah, but I think it's maybe it's the natural, like it's the aversion to love bombing. Because love bombing would be like the 100%, like that would never work on me, because I'd be like, ugh.
Yeah,
you're coming on a bit strong. I
don't remember if I said it. I've said it on this podcast, but Medardo and I met on like a dating site, and we had been talking for a couple weeks at this point, and he asked me for my phone number, and I told him no. And it's so funny that he was just like, oh, okay. He was like, it kind of hurt a little. Oh, but I explained it to him. I was like, I'm just like kind of uncomfortable giving people my phone number when I like still don't really know them. It's like nothing against you.
Yeah.
And now we're like married.
Safety. Yeah. That's a tough thing. It's like, how do you get past that? Like, you're a stranger.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
you
weird.
Know? Like, I met Ewan through friends, so I skipped over that. He was like verified by others, so he had a little blue tick.
I was gonna say he had a blue tick.
And they were all like, yeah, he's an asshole.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And now it's time for you guys to get a goat.
Get a goat?
Yeah. Did you not read my message to you on the Discord?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pushing for a goat for you guys.
A goat? Yeah. We have room for a goat across the road.
See?
We'll probably attack people.
It has to happen.
It's all coming together.
Yes. Anywho, thank you all so much for listening. We hope that you enjoy. This episode's not going to be as long. The next episode's probably not going to be as long as our usual episodes, but there are stumps, as Neve calls them.
Yeah, we're like, they're not pine cones and they're not Rowan and pine. They are stumps.
Yeah. Maybe like
it's a
tree without its branches. Is that still a stump?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It's just so we stay on your feed, we don't disappear, because the other option is that we just stop posting, and nobody wants that.
Yeah. Do you want content or not? And on that note, I'm Emily.
And I am Neve.
Thanks for listening to Rowan and Pine. Fuck yeah, Folklore.
Thanks for listening. Fuck yeah, Folklore.